Tonight, they won against Haiti, but how will Scotland fare against Morocco? We have a special hour-long programme bringing you all the build-up from here at home and in America.
In Boston, fans are beginning to arrive here at the Boston Stadium, hoping to witness a little bit of history.
Excited, nervous, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it, aren't we? Yeah!
I'll be live here pitch side at the Boston Stadium as Scotland search for the precious result they need to make it to the knockout rounds.
And in other news, the Conservatives win their first Scottish by-election in over 50 years in Aberdeen South.
I'm Amy Irons, live outside the Boston Stadium.
And I'm Laura Goodwin in the Reporting Scotland studio. It's another big night for Scotland under the lights of Boston Stadium and the gaze of thousands of fans. For the next few hours, at least, we remain top of our World Cup group. Feel free to take a picture of this because what lies ahead is a formidable task, a highly rated Morocco side. In this special extended edition of Reporting Scotland, we're building up to kick-off and getting a sense of what this means to Scots the world over. We've got Sarah McMullen live at Transmit Festival in Glasgow, which will be one of the largest watch parties in the country. We'll also be at smaller but just as passionate gatherings in the Borders with Cameron Buttle and Inverness with Chris McLennan. And once again, we're live from the other side of the Atlantic with Lewis Irons pitchside in Boston Stadium. But first, let's cross over to Amy Irons, who is just outside the ground for us now. Amy, this is all starting to feel very real.
Yes, good evening to you, Laura. Good afternoon from here outside the Boston Stadium. You're absolutely right. It is starting to feel very real, pretty much just on cue. I can hear some fans just starting to sing not far from us now. As you mentioned, Scotland currently sitting pretty at the top of Group C. And I think the fans that we've seen, there's a bit of a swagger. There's certainly a smile on the faces as they arrive, as we approach that kick-off against Morocco. Although for many fans, they may hear the word Morocco and have quite painful memories of what happened in France 1998. That 3-0 defeat at the hands of Morocco was the last World Cup game Scotland's men had played in before this tournament. So there's a point to prove, plenty of points up for grabs. Here's our sports news correspondent Chris McLaughlin.
They've been partying hard and winning hearts across this nation. But today, arriving for a huge match, they're focused on just one thing.
I'm hoping to get a point and we're right through at the group stage.
Is your man McGinn going to do it tonight?
Of course he is. Yes, he's going to use that big backside of his and score a goal.
I think 2-0 definitely. McGinn double.
No Scotland, no party. No Scotland, no party.
Excited, nervous, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it, aren't we? Yeah!
Weather over the past 24 hours in Boston has been unpredictable. High winds even closing the fan zone. And the team arrived here knowing just how uncertain their route to progression could be. Tonight's opponents have been making themselves heard across Boston for the past few days. In fine mood.
True. Certainly the way you would start the game and prepare for the game. I think once you're in it, you'll get a feeling of how tough it can be, and certainly going up against Morocco, you're absolutely going to need to have players on the day that are producing 8 out of 10 performances across the board, and you hope that the opposition fall below par on the day.
They've marched with pride, but today there's also expectation. Expectation of a performance that could see progression. Progression that would allow a special journey with new friends to continue. Chris McLaughlin, Reporting Scotland in Boston.
Yes, so much on the line, as Chris was telling us there. And while it's getting busier outside the stadium, we're seeing more and more fans beginning to arrive as we approach that 6 o'clock local time kick-off here at the Boston Stadium. We can go inside now where Lewis Irons is, though, and it's all pretty peaceful there, Lewis. You've been speaking to Steve Clark and some of the players. What's the mood like with them?
Well, Amy, you're right, it is peaceful in here at the moment, but it is incredible when this place is packed out, isn't it? And it's not too long to wait until we get to sample that atmosphere again, with the fans starting to arrive slowly but surely, and they'll be here in great numbers, as will the Moroccan fans, worth pointing out as well. But on the mood in the camp, that's the important thing, isn't it? That's why I'm talking to you now, because the camp has seemed very calm throughout this World Cup, Amy. I was up at training yesterday, just close by to the stadium here, and yet again, it seemed like a very good atmosphere. Steve Clarke was back up to his full complement in terms of players as well. Scott McKenna, whose training sessions had been managed a little bit, was in a full training session. So Steve Clarke now has a full squad to pick from, and much of the speculation will be about if he changes his shape to adjust for this Morocco team. I actually asked him outright about that. I don't know what I was expecting to get from him, and lo and behold, I got nothing. But there's plenty more of that chat coming up on the Sports Desk a little later in the programme, Amy.
Yeah, Lewis, thanks very much. We'll get all the sport with you a little later in the programme. Now, I'm sure you at home have seen just what the coverage has been like over the last week. Praise has been heaped on the Tartan Army and just the impression that they've made in the city of Boston over the last week or so. And they might have drunk the city dry of beer and put cones on virtually every statue possible, but they've left a lasting impression. And Stephen Gordon takes a look at it as they get ready to depart after tonight's game.
Quincy Market in the heart of downtown. Yet another sign of Boston's continuing love affair with Scotland. Officials now estimate the Tartan Army numbers around 50,000. The takeover, a big boost to the city coffers.
Our boats are selling out. The whale watches are going crazy, and those hold up to 400 people, and half of them are the Scottish. We have the Salem boats that are now being sold out because people are going to Salem, as well as P-Town and historic cruises that go all around the harbor.
So it's been good for business?
Very, very, very good for business. It's been amazing, and hopefully we want you guys to stay, honestly.
There's been eating and drinking, singing and dancing, and also some sightseeing. Not always where the locals might expect.
My mate sent it to me and he said just get a picture, it's quite funny. I mean, I think my dad would say it's a carry on. I guess they're not into the Glasgow vernacular to point here.
Joby Liquors.
Joby.
Joby Liquors.
Joby. When did you realise it was a thing?
When a mother told me that it means poop.
WBZ News.
Tens of thousands of Scotland supporters have taken over the city's streets, pubs and landmarks.
This is our studio here at CBS News Boston.
Tasked with making sense of what's happening for a local audience are Boston's TV news stations.
How have you found live reporting in front of the Scotland fans?
You know, I will get climbed on. It will be a whole thing. I just hold onto the microphone as tight as I can, but you can't make the atmosphere up. You can't make it any better.
How's Boston been?
From the city mayor to the state governor, politicians have been keen to be seen in Scotland colours.
We knew the World Cup was going to be something that brought economic activity to Massachusetts, and it was a chance for us to show off our great state and great city, and we've had beautiful weather. That's helped too.
It's been hot.
It's been warm, especially for those wearing kilts, I imagine.
Yeah.
But that's probably also why a lot of beer has been drunk.
But not everyone is involved in drinking Boston dry.
You can still go to places like the Dublin or the fan zone and still have a really good time and enjoy yourself without needing the drink as well. So again, it's
Scotland!
There's been a lot of that.
I can imagine.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Bespoke tattoos mean some fans will leave with a permanent reminder of Scotland's World Cup adventure. An experience their Boston hosts won't forget in a hurry. Stephen Gordon reporting Scotland.
Yeah, safe to say, I think the city of Boston is certainly going to miss the Tartan Army when they head down to Miami over the weekend. Well, our sports news correspondent Chris McLaughlin is with us and he's been soaking in the atmosphere. Chris, I mean, I think you can sense the mood being pretty different. The fact Scotland got that win against Haiti last week, they're top of the group as it stands. You can really feel that amongst the fans. But what kind of opportunity lies ahead of this team tonight?
I think that's absolutely right, but look, let's be honest, Scotland had to win that first game against Haiti to give themselves a chance. Now they've done that, okay, they didn't play particularly well, but now they've done that, it gives them a chance. They just need 1 point from the last two games. And I think in a strange way, this game might suit Scotland better because they do tend to perform well when they're the underdogs. They were the favourites against Haiti, and now they're the underdogs, and Steve Clarke himself mentioned that. I think you're right, the fans are optimistic. I'm not sure how much that's the beer or how much that's reality, but also, Amy, I think it's worth saying I really hope that we're managing to convey to the people back home just how much fun the Scotland fans are having here. They're having absolutely the time of their life, and this part of the USA is completely fallen in love with them. It's also worth pointing out, though, as I said in my package earlier on, this is going to be really, really tricky tonight. Morocco are a very good team. 4th in the World Cup in Qatar in 2024, the current African Cup of Nations champions, and they had that pretty impressive 1-1 draw against Brazil. So this is not going to be easy for Scotland. Look, Steve Clarke knows that, the players will know that. Also, just before we go, it's worth pointing out as well that the Moroccan build-up today has been overshadowed somewhat by the news that their captain Achraf Hakimi will stand trial accused of rape. We don't know if that's going to affect their build-up tonight or in fact the team. We don't know that yet. We should also point out that the PSG defender denies all the charges.
Chris McLaughlin, our sports news correspondent, thank you very much for your time as always. That's all from outside the Boston Stadium right now, Laura. We will have much more later in the programme. It's back to you in the studio for now.
Amy, thank you. Well, today sees the start of the biggest music festival in Scotland, Transmit, and tonight it has a bit of a different headline act when it effectively becomes the largest watch party in the country. Our reporter, Sarah McMullen, is at the site for us. Sarah, a wee bit soggy, but tell us how things are shaping up.
Well, good evening, Laura, and a huge warm welcome from Glasgow Green. Things here now shaping up very nicely now that the rain has decided to stop, and I think you'll be able to see the main stage there just behind me. Crowds there really beginning to fill out, and that's where the likes of Lewis Capaldi, Will Fallis and Richard Ashcroft will all play across this weekend. But of course, come 11 o'clock tonight, that whole area will be transformed to show that all-important Scotland-Morocco game at 11 o'clock tonight. Now, a little before we came on air from that direction, we heard some very loud renditions of No Scotland, No Party, a bit of the Proclaimers and a bit of dance music too. But as you mentioned, it's been a bit soggy. I've been here since 12:30 this afternoon, and only within the last hour or so has the rain really stopped. So while it might always rain on us here in Scotland, it's never stopped us before, and according to the people I spoke with earlier, it's certainly not going to stop them enjoying themselves today.
No Scotland, no party! Come on, Scotland!
More Scotland! Transmit is a staple in Scotland's music calendar, but tonight its main stage will transform to host one of Scotland's biggest fan parties when they show the Scotland-Morocco game at the World Cup. And while today might be a bit of a washout, it's certainly not dampening spirits.
I think we'll be soaking, but we'll love it nonetheless.
It literally started when we left the train station, so it was dry all up until we got here, and now it's just pouring. Yeah. And we've not got enough ponchos to go down, so some of us have been sacrificed. We're still trying to enjoy it.
We'll get soaked with beer later anyway.
Soaked with beer anyway, especially for Scott.
Yeah. And it's not just the gig goers that are getting into the mood. These guys will head straight to see the game when they clock off.
Feeling a lot less confident than we were with Haiti, but you've got to believe if we can beat Spain and if you've got John McGinn, you can do anything. We'll be serving pasta to all the disappointed fans. Moroccan.
Tonight, Richard Ashcroft will finish early to make way for Scotland's starting 11 on the big screen. Cammy Barnes opened the festival this afternoon and will close it today too, when he returns to the stage again to play his pipes before kick-off.
I think I'm the first to do it, and I'm going to run with it and take it.
And are you looking forward to the game?
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous, I hope we get the big win tonight. We deserve it, I think. So.
And while the sun has been splitting the trees stateside, luckily here, a little bit of rain has never stopped a party. Sarah McMullen, reporting Scotland.
Well, of course, it's not just the Tartan Army who are looking forward to tonight's game. There are about 2,000 to 3,000 people of Moroccan descent in Scotland, and they are also gearing up for the match. Many of them are hoping both teams will be able to qualify for the next round of the World Cup, as our reporter Graham Fraser found out.
At this Moroccan cafe in Glasgow, excitement is slowly building.
Morocco!
You got your Scotland and your Morocco jersey on together?
We're Scottish-born Moroccans, so I'm hoping for a draw. If we can get a draw, that puts us in a good position.
Let's hope, Morocco win at least one. I know Scotland, they're a strong team as well.
The owner of the cafe has been counting down the days to this game ever since Scotland and Morocco were drawn against each other.
It's amazing, it's brilliant. I mean, I'm from Morocco, this is my second home, so seeing that, being at the same group is amazing.
Ayoub's wife Dunia is not the biggest fan of football, but this is no ordinary game.
Everybody kind of looks at us from a different perspective depending on where they are. So no matter who wins, we're obviously we've won because we are Scottish and we are Moroccan at the same time.
Zero Ali was a fan favourite for Aberdeen. He was killed in a car crash when he was 27. His daughter Anissa lives in the city and can't wait for this big game.
Because I wear Zero Ali on my shirt, I've always got the opportunity of people coming up to me saying like, oh, you're Hisham's daughter and that's your dad, like 0-0, and I'm like, amazing. But yeah, I don't know what the score will be, but I'll be cheering either way, whoever scores, but yeah.
Over in Edinburgh, these Moroccans are also getting ready.
I like both teams to go through to the second round. Yeah, because if they go through, we will support Scotland and Morocco in the next games.
Morocco in the last World Cups were the underdogs and they surprised everybody, and Scotland might well do the same tonight.
We're going to get a good party going, watch Scotland versus Morocco. It's going to be a very intense game. This is the best Moroccan team we've had, but it's also the best Scottish team we've seen in the last 30 years, so it's going to be a very high intense game.
Graham Fraser reporting Scotland.
So we've heard from some of the big gatherings in the States and at home. Now let's get a sense of one of the hundreds of smaller scale but still heartfelt events taking place across the country tonight. Our reporter Cameron Buttle is in Galashiels and the borders for us. Cameron, how are things with you?
Well, I'm in the Old Mill in Galashiels, and this is the home to the Tartan Army branch in Gala. And some people have been supporting Scotland here for since the 70s, and I can tell you spirits are already running high. Earlier tonight we've had the local pipe band out trying to get people into the spirit of the game. Now, you tend to think of rugby down in the borders, but I can tell you football is easily just as popular, not least because the man who scored the penalty against Brazil in '98, John Collins, a local guy. Some of the guys in the pub have been telling me that they used to have a kickabout with him at school. Anyway, I am joined by father and son team from the Tartan Army in Gala, Alan and Kenny Patterson. Alan, you've been following Scotland for a long time.
Yeah, 50 odd years.
And how's it been?
It's been ups and downs. I've been on the park at Wembley, I've been across it 2 World Cups, didn't make this one, but superb, generally, absolutely superb.
And is it nice to see so many people out supporting the Tartan Army here tonight?
It's just fantastic. This is rugby country, but you've got Gregor Townsend here who's been across in Boston. He had his stag do in Bordeaux. What a man, and he's a great pal of Stevie Clark, so there's a great connection there.
And now, Kenny, you're following in your father's footsteps here. What does it mean to you to support Tartan Army?
I think it's going to be a really difficult game tonight. Hopefully we can get a result, but if we do, it'll be a great celebration.
Are you feeling confident?
Not really, but if we can seek a point, get through, makes history, that'd be absolutely brilliant.
You're here to advise him about the ups and downs.
Ups and downs, plenty of ups and downs, but if we get a point tonight, it would be fantastic. And I'd love to see in the 76th minute a great tribute to that poor guy from Falkirk who passed away. Up for that.
Father and son, Pattersons, thank you very much. Enjoy the game later tonight. Now, this is one of about 30 bars across the borders who are extending the hours tonight till well into the early hours of the morning. Let's hope it's been worth it.
Yeah, Cameron, I think you've got a long night ahead of you. Thank you very much indeed. Well, to other news now, and the Conservatives are hailing a historic by-election win in Aberdeen South. Their leader, Kemi Badenoch, says it sends a message to the SNP. It came on the same night the SNP won another by-election in Arbroath, while much of the attention was on Andy Burnham's victory in the Makerfield by-election, which paves the way for his potential leadership challenge to Keir Starmer. Our political correspondent, Andrew Kerr, reports.
There was a Conservative party in full swing this morning. The UK leader Kemi Badenoch joined her troops after Douglas Lumsden won Aberdeen South. They'd spotted a route to victory, saying this was a vote on the future direction of North Sea oil and gas.
And what this means is that we have won that referendum on oil and gas. Aberdeen has sent a message to the Labour government and to the SNP that we will not be ignored. Aberdeen will not be ignored. The sector will not be ignored.
Douglas Lumsden, Scottish Conservative and Unionist, 14,000.
A remarkable turnaround for a party in the doldrums after the Holyrood election last month. The Tories actually made history here, their first Westminster by-election gain in Scotland since 1967. The remarkable ebb and flow of fortunes. The political pendulum is always swinging in Aberdeen South. More than 11 years ago, it was held by the Labour Party. Then the SNP took it. In 2017, the Conservatives won it, and the SNP took it back in 2019. Now it's back in Tory hands. However, there was better news for the SNP last night down the coast in Arbroath and Broughty Ferry. Cue celebrations there. Lara Bird became the MP for the area, a hold for the SNP. However, the loss of Aberdeen South prompted the former MP Stephen Flynn to say some will need to reflect quite heavily.
Well, we've all got to reflect on the outcome of the election, and we're not a well-functioning political party if we don't reflect on election outcomes. And here in Arbroath and Broughty Ferry, we've had a resounding endorsement of the SNP, and we've had an issue which I think has been related to oil and gas in Aberdeen.
And I do hereby declare that Andy Burnham is duly elected. Thank you.
Labour activists in Scotland are dismayed at the state of their party, but this man's success in Makerfield is making the news. His ambitions and message clear.
To make people feel hope again.
In Aberdeen, Burnham's the burning question.
I think he'll find the same difficulties once he gets there.
I think Andy Burnham would be a good choice if there has to be one.
The country needs somebody to cure it, but he's not a one-man band. He's not the great messiah from the north.
Mixed messages from the voters, and now more uncertainty in Downing Street. Andrew Kerr, reporting Scotland.
Well, our Westminster correspondent Paris Skortsianis joins us from Downing Street this evening. Paris, what reaction have you been hearing in the wake of these by-election results?
Well, Westminster is waiting on a storm to break. It obviously hasn't arrived yet, and it could be a few more days. But if there was any doubt before the Makerfield by-election, then that blowout Andy Burnham win confirms that it's a question of, it's not a question, of if there'll be a challenge to Keir Starmer, but when, how, and by who. Both Andy Burnham and Wes Streeting are understood to be giving the Prime Minister the weekend to think things over and perhaps change his mind about not standing down. Neither of them want a leadership contest that involves the sitting Prime Minister. They say the dignified course of action would be for him to set out his own timetable for departure. Meanwhile, conversations are ongoing now between the Prime Minister and his cabinet. He is asking them for their support, but we know that some of them have already told him it's time to think about leaving. And there are hints tonight, just hints, not explicit, but that some of Wes Streeting's supporters would like him to sit down with Andy Burnham and hammer out a deal that leads to a coronation in the name of party unity. Come Monday, if nothing has changed, then all of these conversations happening in private this evening could burst into the public, and Westminster could be under those storm clouds.
OK, Paris, many thanks indeed. A prosecutor has urged jurors to reject the testimony of a River City actor and convict him of crimes against 4 women, including rape. The jury has now heard closing speeches in the trial of Ian Robertson at the High Court in Glasgow. The 45-year-old denies 7 charges spanning between 2004 and 2020. His lawyer reiterated Robertson's own comment that he was no angel, but questioned whether jurors could hand on heart conclude that they do not believe him. A campaign group has won a legal challenge over where transgender prisoners are housed. For Women Scotland brought a judicial review against the Scottish Government, saying transgender women, that is biological males who identify as women, should not be sent to female jails. Joanne Macaulay reports.
The case of convicted rapist and transgender woman Isla Bryson fueled the debate on where prisoners should be placed. Bryson was initially remanded to a female jail after being found guilty of attacks on women before being moved to a men's facility. Following that, the Scottish Prison Service produced a policy that any transgender woman, that is, someone who's biologically male but identifies as female, would be assessed on whether or not they posed a risk to women before being admitted to a female jail. But the campaign group For Women Scotland challenged this, arguing that for safety, admissions to women's jails should be based on biological sex. Today, Judge Lady Ross ruled in their favour.
Well, it will ensure that in future no violent male prisoners, or any male prisoners for that matter, will be put in with very, very vulnerable women. Female prisoners are some of the most vulnerable women in society. They've often suffered histories of domestic violence and head injuries, and it's been very traumatic for them having even a very few men imprisoned with them.
Today's ruling follows a case in the Supreme Court last year, which concluded that the legal definition of a woman is based on biological sex. The Scottish Government had argued that putting people into prison according to their biological sex could violate the human rights of transgender inmates. However, the judge, Lady Ross, said that those rights did not extend to being accommodated in a prison for the opposite biological sex. She concluded that the current prison's guidance was unlawful. The Scottish Government says it will consider the outcome of Lady Ross's judgment and take time to assess the implications that it has for the carrying out of policy in relation to the handling of prisoners. Joanne Macaulay reporting, Scotland, Edinburgh.
Let's return to the build-up to the big game now and take a look at this. We've had some of the latest pictures coming into us from Boston city centre, and as you can see, thousands of Scotland fans are on the move, some heading to the game, some probably heading to bars and to fan zones ahead of that kick-off against Morocco in around 4 hours. And as you can see, jubilant spirits there. Now, in terms of where we sit in the FIFA World Rankings, that could be very helpful because at the moment, we are 37th, but who are we facing? Morocco at 6th. And then look who's above us, Brazil, our final opponents. Let's take a closer look. With kick-off now a matter of hours away, it's time for a bit of a fact file of our opposition. Morocco is something of a footballing powerhouse. The North African nation boasts some top stars and are featuring in their third consecutive World Cup. They're nicknamed the Atlas Lions and will be hoping to hunt down one objective at World Cup 2026, a better finish than the historic 4th place they secured at Qatar in 2022. For several years now, they've been one of the best teams in Africa. Their qualification route for this World Cup highlights that. Played 8, won 8, with a high-scoring 5-0 against Niger, clinching it. They also came into this World Cup as the champions of Africa, although that was all hotly contested. 2 months after they lost the final to Senegal, Morocco were awarded the Africa Cup of Nations title after the Senegalese players left the pitch in protest at a contentious stoppage time penalty, delaying the match for 17 minutes. The African footballing authorities stripped Senegal of the title, deeming them to have forfeited the game by leaving the field, meaning Morocco are considered to have won 3-0, ending their near 50-year wait for a second AFCON. But this is being appealed by the Senegalese authorities, so we've not heard the last of it. With less than 100 days to go till the kick-off of the World Cup, Morocco opted to replace their head coach. Mohamed Ouabi is now the man in charge, fresh off the back of guiding Morocco to the FIFA Under-20s World Cup in 2025. Looking at the Morocco squad, they're captained by PSG right-back Achraf Hakimi. Their midfield selection includes one of their brightest young talents, Bilal El Khanous, who's had a great season with Stuttgart in Germany, where they secured Champions League qualification for next season. And in attack, Real Madrid's Brahim Diaz, who switched allegiances from Spain to Morocco in 2023, will be aiming to make an impact. If he lines up against Scotland tonight, he'll definitely be among the danger men identified by Steve Clarke. As mentioned, Morocco are World Cup regulars and had one of the best stories of Qatar 2022 when they got the furthest of any African side in the history of the greatest tournament in the beautiful game. They toppled heavyweight Spain and Portugal on the way to losing 2-0 to France in the semis. So in a few hours' time, Scotland will take on the Atlas Lions at the Boston Stadium, practically our second home by this point, where hopefully the thousands of Tartan Army faithful can roar us onto glory. Well, time now for sport. Let's cross to Lewis live from Boston Stadium.
Thank you very much, Laura, and I must just briefly apologise if I get swept up in the rehearsals that are going on here for the opening pre-match ceremonies. It's quite the procedure that they go through. It's so American, isn't it? The dramatic hype videos, complete with cheerleaders, all happening here in the stadium, even though we are still a while from kick-off. But what about the team news and Steve Clarke? We obviously don't have the team just yet, but Steve Clarke is back up to his full complement of players, with Scott McKenna back in full training ahead of this game, where Scotland know a point could well be enough to get through to the knockout rounds for the first time ever. And a lot of the chat out here has been about Steve Clarke himself. He seems like a new man. He's so happy, so cheery. Not to say that he wasn't before, but he's certainly ramped it up a notch publicly, that's for sure. And earlier on, well, I spoke to the manager, who's tasked with making some history for the national team.
Not many Scotland teams come to a World Cup and win a game. We managed to do that. We feel that we could have played a little bit better, and that's what we aim to do against Morocco, and that's what we'll have to do against Morocco if we want to get another positive result.
There isn't much time to take pride, is there, when you are going straight into a game of this magnitude again? Morocco, safe to say, a step up. How much has that affected preparations, altered things at all, or if it has at all?
Sorry, I got distracted there when the captain walked by. I'm thinking that was the quickest press conference I've ever seen.
It has, yeah.
I'm assuming he hasn't been in.
We better be quick then so that we give him a chance. But yes, how has it altered things at all going up? You said just how happy you were with the way that your players handled that pressure on that opening game. Have you felt any sort of pressure lift off after getting such a big win like that?
I think after the game you get that immediate release of pressure, but they want to do something that no Scottish team's done before, so that pressure builds into the second game. And now we have to be ready to go again. I don't think the pressure will be as intense, because obviously we're a little bit more like the underdog in this game, and sometimes that suits the Scottish.
And I just need to ask before I let you go, Steve, I know you won't give me anything away here, but are you going to alter the shape or anything for a different opponent like Morocco? Is there anything you can give me an insight to?
Well, between now and kick-off I won't eat too much, so hopefully my shape will change a little bit.
I expected that. Good luck, Steve.
Thanks very much.
Worth a try, isn't it? You never know, really, but nothing given away by Steve Clarke there. But that seems to be some of the consensus amongst the media and pundits alike, talking about what sort of shape Clarke might go for against Morocco tonight, a far superior opposition to Haiti. And we are still 4 hours from kick-off, so too early for the pundits to join me here in the stadium. But I spoke to BBC Sports' Leanne Crichton and Neil McCann ahead of kick-off this morning.
It probably suits in terms of it. We can maybe revert back to a style of football that is more secure, because sometimes we have found a wee bit of issues when we've been really charged with the task of breaking teams down and being the one who are dominating the games. But I still think we've got the players that, should the game present itself to get our foot in the ball and play nice football, that we'll still get the players to do that. But yeah, I think it just gives us the opportunity just to maybe play in that counter-attack I've got a wee has done in the past so effectively well, and then go and get that opportunity when it presents itself, hit the back of the net, and I just get a wee feeling we might do something really special tonight.
We spoke a lot this week about the pressure being off. Can the pressure actually be off in a major tournament, particularly with Scotland top of the group, and knowing that a point could be enough? That must bring an element of pressure.
Of course it does. There's no getting away. Every game has got immense pressure, but I think there's a different type of pressure, and for me the Haiti game was the one that brought the most teams, so that alone, and then you want to perform. You don't want to come to a World Cup and leave with those regrets like we felt after the last 2 Euros, and Steve Clarke spoke about that himself. So no doubt the players are feeling pressure, but we've got big players, we've got real quality players, we've got every right to be here at this tournament, so we need to make sure that we make that count, and we tap into those nerves and pressure, because at times that can be the one thing that drives you.
Well, here's hoping it is a special night. Leanne Crichton, Neil McCann, thank you. Well, that's the view from the media, but what about the fans? We've seen a lot and heard a lot about how the Scottish Tartan Army are feeling, but the Moroccan fans, trust me, they are very confident too, as I found out earlier on.
Right, I've got to start with John McGinn himself. How are you feeling for this one?
Massively excited for the game today. 28 years in the making. Morocco, 30 games unbeaten. we're going to make it happen today. Super John McGinn's getting the goal. Come on, Scotland, yeah?
We hope to win. Morocco win 2 against 1 against Scotland.
We have to be at our best, and they'll probably have to be at their worst to try and get anything out of this game. But we're looking forward to it.
A few hours still to kick off. How's the nerves? Do you get too nervous, excited? How do you feel?
I get nervous because he gets nervous. Are you excited? Yay, we're excited.
And most importantly, are you confident?
Very confident.
We are so excited, bro. We want to watch the game. Like I wait like 2 or 3 weeks just to this day, you know.
What do you think the score is going to be?
3-0.
To Morocco?
Yeah.
Wow, well, we're with BBC Scotland, so I don't think that'll go down well.
Yep.
Going to Miami tomorrow as well, so
Brilliant.
Good.
Oh, brilliant. So you're out for the full time?
Yeah, we came out about 8 or 9 days ago, had a few nights in Boston, then had a few days to recover down in Cape Cod and back on it today, so absolutely loving it. It's been a trip of a lifetime so far, so feeling good that we can do it with Sir Steve today, so happy days.
Might get even better. Brilliant,
Happy
guys.
days. Brilliant.
Thanks so much. Cheers. Thank you. Nice to meet you guys. So I think the word before the Haiti game that I would use would have been pressure, but before this Morocco game, I'm going to go for opportunity, because that is what awaits Steve Clarke and his players. If they get the result they need and progress from the group stages for the first time ever, what an opportunity that will be for the fans to ramp up the support even more. Just think how good that Brazil game in Miami could be if Scotland can get the job done here from the Boston Stadium against Morocco tonight. Laura, back to you.
Oh, absolutely, Lewis. Thank you very much indeed. Well, it's time now for the weather forecast. Here's Judith.
Good evening. The Saltire flying proudly there, and a big night for Scotland. But what about the weather? Well, we've had this waving weather front that's been across us for a couple of days now. It brought some heavy pulses of rain today, but finally that's clearing away, allowing high pressure to build in a lovely big generous high as well. And that high will also bring dry conditions, but also some warmth as well, lasting through until next week too. So some good news on the weather horizon. We see the last of that rain clearing away this evening, then dry for a time. A cluster of showers pushing in from the southwest, tracking north and eastwards tonight, but clearing away by morning. Drier behind it, just a few showers drifting into the northwest, and overnight lows of around 10 to 12 Celsius. Into tomorrow, any early showers clear away, and we might see 1 or 2 drifting into the south initially, but they'll clear away as well. And then, to all intents and purposes, a lot of dry weather tomorrow with brighter sunny spells. Now, come the afternoon, I think the Northern Isles faring pretty well, bright with some sunshine, maybe the odd shower drifting across Shetland. Quite a brisk southwesterly wind, so 1 or 2 showers into Caithness, but for eastern Scotland predominantly dry, some brighter sunny spells and some warmth, 19-20 Celsius. We saw 19 today, so without the rain we could see 21, I reckon, in the sunshine. Lovely day for the south too. A bit of cloud drifting into North Argyll from the Atlantic in towards Tidey, some of the Western Isles and up across the northwest. 1 or 2 showers caught up in the flow as well tomorrow, but they'll be fairly light in nature, and a bit of a breeze for the west coast too, 16-17 Celsius here. Tomorrow evening, late sunshine leading to clear spells overnight. Still a few showers drifting into the northwest and the Northern Isles. Quite a chilly night for some as well. Perhaps some mist and fog patches first thing on Sunday, but they'll burn off very quickly. And then we're looking at lots of dry weather, plenty of sunshine as well, and temperatures up into the low 20s for many of us. A wee bit lower over the western and Northern Isles. And then as we head into the new working week, well, the high really hanging on. We might see 1 or 2 bits and pieces of rain on Monday with a bit of cloud, but on the whole it's dry and warm. And Tuesday as well, maybe the odd spot of rain, but clearing away, leaving lots of dry weather. And what about Boston for tonight? Well, it's a warm one, but it won't be particularly humid. Humidity is low, 26 Celsius for the boys playing tonight. And I'd just like to say all the very best for the boys over there in Boston. We're really rooting for you. The BBC Scotland weather team are right behind you, and we can't wait to see you bring that cup home. No Scotland, no party.
Judith, thank you. Well, we are now less than 4 hours till kick-off, and many fans are already limbering up. Chris McLennan is with the group in Inverness. Chris, how are preparations going?
Well, Laura, lots of excitement here in Inverness tonight, and it's been bubbling away quite nicely today. I've seen some joggers earlier today in Scotland kits. We've even seen some cyclists and car drivers with mini Saltires. Now tonight, on the streets outside, there's lots of people in Scotland kits in an array of different colours and vintage. Shops have also been getting in on it. There's lots of window displays, saltires there and tartan on display. So Inverness really embracing the World Cup spirit. There's also a nod to the hometown boy, Ryan Christie, at a prominent fast food restaurant not too far away from here. A mural has been painted in the window there showing Ryan in his navy blue Scotland kit, so recognising his ties to the Highland capital. Here where we are in the Imperial, a sports bar in the city centre tonight, there's been a steady flow of customers and refreshments so far tonight, and a lot of optimism as we heard from these customers earlier.
We won our first game. All we need is a draw, we'll never get it.
I think we're going to do well. I think we might get at least a draw. Yeah, I'm hoping that we win it, but I think we might get a draw.
I'm English here, but I've lived up here 28 years, so I'm cheering on the Scots tonight. So
a draw would help get us. That puts us into the knockout stages, and then when we get in there, we can take anybody. I feel confident.
Well, I'd be happy with 1-0. I would be happy if we just win. That would be great. But absolutely brilliant.
Well, there we go, lots of optimism here in Inverness, but it's not just in this bar where the game will be on tonight, lots of other venues showing it. Across the city, the sports centre has been turned into a fan zone, which we're being told is a sellout for a second time this week. And across the Highlands and Islands, lots of village halls and community centres turning into watch parties, the likes of the Nevis Centre in Fort William and even the local village hall in Carloway in the Western Isles. But Laura, as we inch ever closer towards kick-off, we're expecting more people to come out, to start gathering at those venues, to kick-start the party and the boogie into tonight.
Chris, thank you very much indeed. Right, let's cross back to Amy outside the Boston Stadium.
Thanks very much, Laura. Well, it is now less than 4 hours to go until kick-off, and every minute that passes, I feel like we're just seeing more and more Scotland fans arriving. I think many of them have really taken notice of that warning to get here early, don't leave it too late. So there's certainly plenty of them just round the corner on Patriots Place. We've seen some incredible footage there, Scotland and Moroccan fans mingling together beautifully, as you would expect before the game, singing, dancing. Of course, it's such a huge occasion for both of these teams, but it is Scotland going in, currently top of Group C. So many fans just trying to soak up the atmosphere that is really building round here, and two of them included in that are Mary and John Gillis. They have been married for 57 years. Their first Scotland game together was back in 1965. They weren't sure they'd even make it to see Scotland at this World Cup because John was only given the all clear to travel a couple of weeks ago by his doctor, and I got a chat with him ahead of the game. Here we are, Scotland at a World Cup. How do you two feel to finally be here?
Out of this world. It's just it's a dream coming true. Scotland at a World Cup.
Did you ever think this would happen?
No.
Never
Every time it was happening, it was going to happen.
This time we made it. Throughout the last 57 years that you've been together, as much as the love that you've got for each other, a massive part of what you share is Scotland.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
Did you realise that quite quickly? Was that something that you did together, or were you Scotland fans individually before that?
Well, I used to go to the Scotland game in Britain.
You almost never made it because, John, did you have an operation?
I had a quadruple bypass in 2017.
How did your heart handle it on
November.
On Saturday night?
No, I'll go back to November.
Oh, November, yes, tell me about that.
We were interviewed going way in, and Mary says, man said, why John had a heart attack 10 days ago. That's all right. So, you know the ending in November. She says, John, how did your heart cope with that? I'd have died happy!
Can you imagine what your life would be like without Scotland, without these trips, without being as passionate about the team as you are?
Very dull.
Be very dull. We've got other things we do, but no, it isn't. If you were to give a message to the players, to Steve Clarke, before this Morocco game, just what would you want to be able to say directly to them?
Stevie, Tramp, thanks for the dream.
Yes.
You're making this dream come true.
You don't say any more than that. I'd just be saying, get out there and do what you do. You're brilliant. That's all I'd say. But that's better. John, you say you're not a man of words. And look at those words you just used.
That's degree.
Oh, that's the thing you would want to say, isn't it? Oh, you're okay. You've seen so many big iconic moments since your first game together in 1965. But how important and special is it for you to be doing all of this, Mary, with John?
That wee bag says it. We're together. That's it. We're a pair.
We're together. That's it. We're sons of Scotland. Together. Sons and daughters of Scotland. That's
Yes,
what it
it's
means. We're together. There you are, we're together.
Just try to be green again.
You're going to have me green in a minute. Oh, Mary and John, just absolutely adorable, aren't they? And I think speaking for so many Scotland fans, and of the thousands of the Tartan Army who've travelled to Boston just to see Scotland at this World Cup, we've been following some incredible journeys to get here. Planes, trains and automobiles. And just on the planes element, we've met a couple of friends who've taken that to a new level.
Flying over the ice cap and the mountains and icebergs and glaciers. It's difficult to describe how cool it was. I'm David Smith, I'm the chairman of Air United.
I'm Fraser McIntyre, vice chairman of Air United. And we've just flown across the Atlantic to watch Scotland in the World Cup 2026.
And that. Air United been up playing Arbroath and we were driving back and we're talking about if we got through. Fraser said, why don't we take the plane? I genuinely hadn't been drinking and I said, yeah, let's go for it.
We started from Prestwick to Reykjavik, 4.5 hours Reykjavik to Kulisuk for 2 and a bit, up and over the ice cap to Iqaluit in Canada, then down to Goose Bay in Canada, then 4.5 hours down to Montreal and 2 hours over to Providence.
We did take games. We actually didn't play any of them apart from a wee bit of poker.
But we did put on the playlist, with the Scotland playlist on the way from Montreal to Providence, so we had that on.
Well. That was pretty cool. There's a couple of stressful situations we had, particularly getting into Montreal. I would have lost it if it had been me, but he was nice and calm, got us down, and even when you're hitting a little bit of bumpy weather, he just keeps it all nice and calm.
I'm going to guess you weren't drinking a lot of water or coffee.
No, there's no toilet facilities, so we had a couple of Imodium before we left, and that was us pretty much, to be honest. I did say to him at one point, I need the toilet, but I was joking. So.
It's just the trip of a lifetime, really, with the experiences that we've now got from the trip.
And see, doing it with your best mate, it probably doesn't really get any better than that.
Well, in amongst the sea of Scotland fans, we've spotted a familiar face. It's singer-songwriter Callum Beattie who's with us. Callum, how are you feeling? We're less than 4 hours to kick off. How are the kind of excitement and nerve levels?
Well, I was feeling confident earlier on, but everyone's getting nervous now. But wow, what an occasion, and it's just amazing to be part of it all.
You got here, was it last week, but you didn't actually get to the Haiti game.
No, I didn't get. No.
So how was it? Where did you watch it instead?
I watched it in a hotel room, but I was there in spirit, but I was so jealous. Everybody was jealous watching it. But we're here now, and I don't want to go home. It's just incredible.
What have you made of the last week or so? Because it feels like every time you open your phone, there's just another viral moment, all positive ones, involving Scotland fans.
I know. The Americans, honestly, they've taken us in. There's people sleeping in their houses on couches. They absolutely adore us. And yeah, hopefully, I heard there's a petition to get us citizenship here now. So it's been the perfect match, Boston, and it's just been humorous all around. Brilliant.
It's been a lot of fun, hasn't it? Are you putting on any gigs while you're out here? I mean, you must be thinking of writing a new song about this whole experience, surely.
Absolutely. When I get back, I've got plenty of material to write about, I can tell you that much. But yeah, no, the plan is if I get a spontaneous gig, I'll play. In fact, I'd like to sing the national anthem, so I'll just put that out there now.
Well, I'm sure you'll have somebody offering that, Callum. What are you expecting from this? Because you're always, every time I've spoken to you in the past about Scotland, you're always pretty optimistic. But Morocco, they're a good side. They got to the semi-finals of the last World Cup in Qatar.
Yeah.
How hopeful are you, though?
I'm actually very hopeful. I was talking to Billy Gilmore and his family yesterday, and he was saying Scotland, we always do well against better teams. So tonight we've just got to give it our all and really go for it. And we're going to be so loud in that stadium, it's the 12th man, isn't it? So.
Well, finally, we'll let you give the last word. What would you be saying to Steve Clark and the boys?
There's children sitting back home dreaming to be where you are right now. Go and make them cry with happiness and just give us something to cheer. Come on, let's do it. Come on, Scotland!
There we go, Callum Beattie, the singer-songwriter. Thank you so much for joining us on the programme. Laura, I don't think I could put it any better myself. Just go out there and do it, Scotland.
Amy, thank you very much indeed. Well, speaking of children and sticking with the World Cup, a school in Orkney is going Lyndon Dykes daft after family tree research led to no less than 7 pupils discovering they have a connection to the Australia-born Scotland striker. Here's David Deldy.
Forget Clark, McGinn or McTominay. Here the talk of the school is one man. A formidable 7-a-side team of the future. Meet Rosa, Gracie, Maeva, Louis, Reed, Hunter and Fletcher, who, along with Lyndon, are all descendants of Westry's Stuart Stevenson and Stroncy's Isabella Brodie, married in 1857. The link was discovered by Louis' mum, but did his classmates initially believe him?
Absolutely not.
So what did you do?
My mum put a picture on Seesaw to show to the class, and they all believed me then. I just felt like it was amazing, like I have a Scotland football player, like that's my cousin. The day I found out, I was just so excited, and I went and put my Scotland kit on and ran outside to play football.
The group have varying score predictions for tonight, but they are in agreement on one thing. The name Dykes will be on the score sheet. They hope these messages of support can wheel their way across the Atlantic to give their cousin some Arcadian inspiration.
Hi, how are you? Hope you score a goal. Good luck, keep going and have a good game. Try to get into the semi-finals.
And even if we don't win, we will win, we will win.
And even if Scotland don't win, there's no doubt that this World Cup will be one that lives long in the memory here. David Deldy, reporting Scotland, Orkney.
Some future talent there, hopefully. And that's just about where we leave you with this special edition of Reporting Scotland. In just a few hours' time, millions will watch Steve Clarke and his team in the hope they can make history against Morocco. From the front rooms to the pubs to the soggy festival sites to a sold-out Boston Stadium, the hopes of a nation could be determined in 90-odd minutes. The curtain may be coming down on the Tartan Army's time in Boston, but the story doesn't end there. And look out Miami, the Scots are coming.
When the Tartan came to Boston, all the city came alive, and we danced upon the common with a spirit we'd forgotten. When the bars were finally low, there was something that revived, sharing pints and songs and anthems to remind us of our pride. Oh, raise a glass and sing from the Highlands to the harbour. Now we stand a little taller since the Tartan came to Boston. Oh, raise a glass and sing from the Highlands to the harbour. Now we laugh a little harder since the Tartan came to Boston. We'll be coming, we'll be coming, we'll be coming down the road. When we hear the noise of the Tartan Army boys, we'll be coming down.